Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Astrology Dome. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Mercury retrograde. You all know Mercury, right? And Mercury is that part that is responsible for our communication, for the way we speak, for the way we make connections with others, with the world around us, because communication is not just about words. It is about everything that we do that is relating to other beings on this planet Earth. Mercury is also the part of us that is thinking, and we are constantly thinking. Hopefully, we can get some moments without thinking if we meditate, if we go inside, if we connect to the other realms of the soul and not just the personality. But Mercury is our mind, and we constantly have a chatter in our mind. And that chatter is really determining what quality of life do we have, because the messages that we give ourselves will affect the way we live, will affect the way we connect with others, will affect our journey. So Mercury is really an important part of ourselves. The mind is like a huge computer. So it has compartments. Some of it is related to memories from the past. Some of it related to things that we know how to do and we have learned. So these are learning experiences. Some of it is related to beliefs. We store our belief system somewhere in our mind, and according to that belief system, we are acting in the world. And some of it is related to experiences that we are creating for ourselves, the need to learn and to grow and to expand. So Mercury is a really important function in our life. And whenever Mercury goes retrograde, you all know that it is famous for creating some havoc in our life. Things don't go as they expected. Meetings are being canceled. Some electronics are going berserk and we need to switch them to something else or change or buy something new. Things are breaking down, plans are changing. And why is that? So planets don't really go backwards. It looks like that from our standpoint on the Earth, that as if Mercury went straight forward, halted, slowed down, and then it looks like it's going backwards to a certain degree, and then it's coming back. Mercury usually goes retrograde every year, between 3 to 4 times every year. In 2022, we are lucky to experience 4 Mercury retrogrades. This is the 3rd one. Hey, we can deal with it because Mercury retrograde also brings blessings. It is not all bad. I want you to realize that, because our life is so fast moving that sometimes we need time to digest. And that's exactly what Mercury retrograde is doing for us. It is kind of stopping us from the rush of every day and giving us the time to digest the information that we just consumed and make it practical. Mercury is a practical planet. It wants to be practical. In Gemini, Mercury is collecting information and disseminating information. But in Virgo, it is always about being practical. And so we need to produce practical results with Mercury. Let's see what this Mercury is doing for us. And let me share my screen with you. Okay, here's my screen. So for today, I created this PowerPoint presentation. I love presentations because I have Mercury in Virgo, and I like things to be very systematic, very orderly, and very coherent. So I hope you like it too. So Mercury is retrograde from September 9th until October 2nd. And let's see how it happens. So you probably heard about Mercury's shadow. And what is the shadow? The shadow is that part that the planet is going through until it gets to the retrograde. Once it gets to the retrograde, it will retrograde all the way back to that part. So we are starting the shadow on August 20th at 24 degrees of Libra. We are already there. Then on September 9th, Mercury is going retrograde at 8 degrees of Libra in 55 minutes. Then on October 2nd, Mercury turns direct again at 24 Virgo. Remember, that's the part of the shadow. Then on October 16th, Mercury is going out from 8 degrees Libra in 55 minutes, where it started retrograde. I have a better visual representation of the shadow, so you can see that. So Mercury goes into its shadow at 24 degrees of Virgo. You see that degree right here. It starts the shadow part. It goes all the way until 8 degrees and 55 minutes of Libra. It turns retrograde, going all the way back to 24 degrees of Virgo, turns direct and goes all the way back to 8 degrees and 55 minutes of Libra. This is it. This is the whole retrograde. I think this is a great presentation because you can really see it with your eyes. I love visuals, and I can really understand how the retrograde notion is going. This is the motion of the retrograde. I hope you liked it too. Let's talk about what Mercury retrograde in Libra is bringing to us. So obviously the focus is relationships, because Libra is all about relationship. And what do we do when we have a relationship? We communicate. How do we communicate? Through meaningful conversation. You know, every relationship you have, if you want to take it to the next level, if you want to make it a deep relationship, it has to be meaningful. And you have to be vulnerable, because having a meaningful conversation with someone requires some sort of personal exploration and a personal vulnerability. Because if you don't do that, you're communicating on the surface. But if you really want a meaningful conversation with someone, you have to open up. And you expect the other person to do that too. This is what bonds us. This is when we feel. This is when we expose those parts of ourselves that are vulnerable. But that's what creates the meaningful connection between us and others. So where in your life are you creating meaningful conversations, meaningful connections, and where not? Because we don't necessarily create such deep, meaningful conversations and connections with everybody. Usually in our relationship, we have this very close circle of very few friends that we open up to. And then we have the next circle, which are acquaintances, people we meet, which we're less vulnerable with those, right? We create more shallow relationship, and then the rest of the people. So who are the people in your closed circle that you can open up and feel safe enough to be vulnerable and explore parts of yourself? Because that's what relationships are for. They're for exploring parts of ourselves that we want to discover through those relationships, and we grow through those discoveries. So I urge you to find those close people to yourself and see how you can take it to the next level in this Mercury retrograde. Ways to improve your relationship. We always need to improve our relationship. We can always take our relationship to the next level. What is it for you? Maybe you want to read about it. Maybe you want to search that. This is a really good time. If you find that you're having difficulties in relationship, maybe this is the time where Mercury is retrograde to find ways to improve your relationship with others, your relationship with the world. This is it. It's a good opportunity. Whenever Mercury retrograde in a sign, it's a good opportunity for us to explore that sign in a deeper sense. Improve how you relate. This is more about the style. What is your style of relating to others? How do you approach others? How do you start relating? How do you communicate? What do you say where you don't feel comfortable about relating? How do you stop yourself from relating? Maybe you can improve something about the way you relate, your style of relating. And the last part is take immediate steps in practical ways. Talking is great, and talking is part of our Mercury, but talking is not everything. We have to act in practical ways in order to build the next step in our relationship. So what are practical ways that you can improve your relationship? And sometimes we get this aha moment and we get the understanding of how to do things, but we never act on that. We never execute. So maybe this Mercury retrograde, you can tell yourself, I'm going to execute at least one thing that I'm going to improve in my relationship to others, and start doing it. When you decide to do something, start doing it right away. It will become a habit. So this is a good thing to practice, being practical. Now, every relationship that we have is based on the relationship we have with ourselves. And if we want a healthy relationship out there, we have to have healthy relationship with ourselves. So the basis of every relationship is know what you need. First of all, know what you need between you and you. Sometimes we are confused about our needs. What is it that you really need to feel safe in a relationship, to feel loved? How do you like people to tell you things? How do you like people to touch you? How do you like people to approach you? What do you need? Maybe it's time to find out. Sometimes we don't really know. So clarify. It's a good beginning. The second thing is being able to express your needs. It's not enough that we know what we need. We need to be able to express our needs to others and really tell them. Sometimes we're lacking the confidence to say to others what we need. Sometimes we're lacking the clarity because we are not clear with ourselves. So clarifying stuff to ourselves first and then being able to say it in a very clear way to another, it's a skill. It's a learned skill. Maybe you can make that skill better this Mercury retrograde. Then know how to listen to others' needs. You know, we human, we tend to talk in parallel monologues. You talk, I talk. You talk, I talk. But do we really listen to what the other person is saying? Do we really listen to the other person's needs? Maybe you can start paying attention. Are you really listening? And when you come to a conversation, are you there for the other person or are you there just to say your piece? Maybe just the awareness is a good beginning to start listening in an active way. Then this Mercury retrograde in Libra is also trining Mars in Gemini. Both are air signs. So more passion, less playing it safe. Because Mars in Gemini, it's the desire, is what you really want. You want passion, you want to connect with someone. So maybe that's a good time to practice more passion, less being on the fence. Okay, overview of Mercury in Libra. We said it's experience more peace within yourself and within your relationship, because Libra is all about peace, bringing more balance to your relationship. More harmony is less stress, right? A happier flow. And we all want a happier flow. We all want more harmony in our lives. It's just an easier life. We get into a state of flow, and a state of flow is where we manifest life without an effort, but we just feel it and we listen to the universe and the messages, and things are evolving, and we are discovering that life doesn't have to be hard. And speak your mind in the face of injustice. Of course, Mercury in Libra is all about being just and fair to yourself and to others. So these are the themes of Mercury retrograding in Libra. Now, Mercury is going back into Virgo. And so it's going to go all the way back into 24 degrees of Virgo, which it already have been there. And that's important to note, that it's going back to something you already did. Let's check out what that means. So it's time to finish up projects. All the projects you started when Mercury was in Virgo, now is the time to finish them. It's a great time to finish them. Maybe there wasn't enough time, timing wasn't right, you didn't have enough material, you didn't have the right connections, whatever it is. Now it's time to wrap up some stuff that you've started already. Learn about your critical inner judge. In Virgo, Mercury can be very critical. It can be judgmental. Every time you judge others or you judge yourself, this is something that you're not in peace or in balance within yourself. This is something you're still working on. So it's a good clue when you hear that judge, that inner judge saying, oh, he did this to me, she did this to me, or why shouldn't I have done this, or why I didn't say that. Every time you do that, this is a shadow part that is coming up, so you can clear it, so you can upgrade, so you can learn a new mode of behavior in that part. It's a good thing to pay attention, to be aware of that critical verbiage, critical mind, critical chatter that is coming up, and heal it. It's good clues. Be aware. It's time to shift habits to healthy ones. Remember when Mercury went into Virgo, we all talked about how to create healthy habits. So it's either letting go of a bad habit that you have, maybe eating too much sugar, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, whatever it is for you, and bringing in new healthy habits that can take you to the next level of yourself. So creating healthy habits, just going to support our body, because this is our temple, this is where we live. It's going to support us to do everything we want. Add details to your plan. If you're missing any details, now is the time to do a little more research and add those missing details. Research solutions to your relationship. So maybe you need to work on something. If it's lack of self-worth, not good enough, lack of self-love, not showing up, not believing that you deserve to be loved, whatever the issue is for you, maybe you can research stuff about it, and knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more powerful you become. And then come up with practical plans for your relationship with self and others. Knowledge and then the plan. So knowledge brings a plan, and then you can start implementing the plan and get better. Let me stop sharing my screen. So I hope this was coherent and clear. I like being clear. I hope you can enjoy that and take this information and really implement that. It's an opportunity. This Mercury retrograde is a real opportunity to become better with yourself, with the relationship to yourself, and with your relationship to others. It's always great to take ourselves to the next level. The next level down, connecting to our soul, connecting to our heart desire, and the next level out, connecting to others, because we are social beings. We come here to this planet in order to connect with everything around us. This is all relationship. Everything we do is related to relationship. So how can you become clearer about your needs, more knowledgeable about how to do relationship, and really show up in a more vulnerable way, yet a safe and secure and self-assured way out there in the world, so you can have a better, meaningful life for yourself and for the loved ones around you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like, please. I would, or drop me a comment. I would love to hear how this Mercury retrograde is affecting you. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. And as usual, enjoy today and become the best version of yourself today and every day. I will see you next time.